We are tonight's entertainment.
What the fuck is this, Chet?
This is a tasty burger.
Were you rushing or were you drinking?
You like Huey Lewis on the news?
Is this your homework, Larry?
Another day, another victory for the OGs.
The OG. Oh,
Welcome back.
to the film scoop.
Film Scoop. What do we... Welcome back to the freaking Film Scoop.
Little bit of a delay.
A 2-day delay. It happens.
Yeah, you know,
What do you want us to do? All right.
very.
If you want someone to blame, you can blame Carl.
Yeah,
Because I was ready, and then he kept working late.
I had a weird schedule for the holidays, but I was off early today. I'm loaded down with eggnog right now. If I can broke into the holidays early,
Ooh.
gulping that shit back, putting up lights and shit.
Does eggnog do anything to you in the old
Gets my penis
ass
hard,
region?
yeah. Huh?
In the old, bathroom region?
I'm not. You're lactose intolerant.
What just happened? I just asked a question about you.
No, I mean I'm saying no. You're lactose intolerant, so
So just
it would
say
affect
no.
you. But I'm not. I drink milk and eggnog all day.
I don't drink eggnog. I don't know how it would affect me. I just asked you a question. You attacked me.
I mean, I'm assuming that you're asking me that because it affects you. That's the assumption that happens.
No, I'm asking because it's fucking basically sweet milk.
Yeah, it's the best thing ever.
It's like a melted milkshake.
Yeah,
And a lot of times, milkshakes fuck with people's stomach.
people who are lactose intolerant.
I feel like you're projecting right now.
You're the one that shits after a milkshake. I'm fine.
I'm fine after milkshakes. I don't know what you're talking
You've
about.
told me on several occasions that it gives you the old rumblies.
Maybe back in the day. I can hold my poops a lot longer now.
Oh, I forgot you cured yourself from all your poops.
I kind of did.
Yeah.
Because we ate before the Holdovers, and I was fine. Like a real meal.
You did try to poo.
I tried because I was like, well, I don't have to, but maybe if I go to the bathroom, like, my butt will get, like, the muscle memory to know, like, oh, I'm near a bathroom,
Yeah.
so now it's time to poop.
It'll get the message.
Yeah, but that didn't happen, so I just came back.
Yeah. For those that don't know, Cash used to be a little poopy boy, a poop every 5 seconds guy, and now he's a jacked animal, and he shits maybe once a month.
Well, I'm not...
He's
Well,
done
I'm
a
not jacked.
dude, I beg to differ.
But my
I'm
pooping
over
has
here-
got a lot better.
I'm gazing upon your body right now.
Stop.
From the calf
Stop it.
up to the thigh, and now I'm moving right over that perch, straight on up
Stop
to the
it.
fucking
Stop it.
those washboard abs.
You're making me feel weird.
You should feel stimulated.
No, I don't know how this is what we're discussing right now, but my poops have gotten better. He's not lying. I used to, like, it was like, if I would eat something, I'd poop like 3 times. Like the instant, like 10 minutes after poop, and then like 30 minutes after poop. I don't know.
Hitching waves, yeah.
I don't know. But I don't eat a lot anymore. I used to have like a huge appetite, and now if it was up to me, I'd have 1 meal a day. That's when I feel at my peak, like, fitness and peak, like, feeling. Like, if I just wake up, have a cup of coffee with a little bit of sugar, that's good for me until dinner time. And then I go through my whole day, like, light on my feet. I don't have anything in my stomach. And then I just have, like, a fairly big dinner. And fairly big for me just means, like, finishing my meal.
Yeah, it's not that big.
Yeah. I was on the way to Olive Garden a few days ago with my sister. We were meeting my mom for lunch, and she was like, "How hungry are you?" And I was like, "I'm pretty hungry." It was like 2:00. I hadn't had anything. She was like, "Oh, well, they have bottomless salad and bottomless pasta if you want to do that." And I was like, "Oh, I mean, that's not what I meant. Like, hungry for me starving for me just means I may be able to finish my food.
Yeah.
I didn't finish my food.
I might eat a breadstick with my spaghetti this
Yeah.
time.
By the way, I didn't finish my food. I had leftovers.
Awesome.
So, yeah, I don't eat a lot now anymore, unless I'm making myself eat, for like protein reasons. But I do not like eating in the morning.
Yeah, dude. You gotta be careful. You don't want to starve the calves.
They say you're supposed to get a gram of protein per body weight, like per pound of body weight. So I need to be getting about 200 pounds of protein a day, or 200 grams, and I don't get close to that number. I can tell you that. Especially if I'm doing my one meal a day, like I'm getting maybe 50.
Yeah.
That's no good. So
It's hard to fit that in one meal.
Yeah. So I've been trying to eat more recently, but it fucking sucks. Like making yourself eat when you're not hungry is not a fun feeling. Not a fun thing to do. But we'll get through it. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll ease into it, but we're back. Film Scoop. Time to talk about some movies, I suppose. Now would be the time.
Yeah, enough about your fucking colon.
This all happened because you projected onto me when I just asked you if eggnog bothers your stomach. Because if there's anything I could think of that would bother my stomach, it'd be eggnog.
The assumption when you ask someone a question like that is that it bothers them. So I was just letting you know.
That's
like,
not.
Of course, it would bother you.
No, that's not always like.
Dude, if I came up to you one day and was like, "Hey, man, do you watch Hulk porn?" And you were like, "No," and I was like, "Oh yeah, me either." I'll just asking.
But that's so specific.
You would assume that, hey, Carl's a fucking weirdo.
But like dairy products messing up people's stomach is a common thing.
Yeah, that's why lactose intolerance is a thing.
Exactly. So, hence, how our two scenarios aren't really even.
Movies.
We'll get back to it. We got a couple castings that I haven't told you about because I wanted to reveal it for the Scoopers.
Let's hear it.
Live. We have our Lex Luthor for Superman Legacy.
Fingers crossed for Jesse Eisenberg, dude. Reprising his role. Everyone wants that.
You do not want to fight this guy. Wow. Who do you think it is?
I doubt I know who it is. I don't think
I feel
it's
like
someone I would know.
It was a pretty popular fan cast. You'd probably get it in like your first three.
I don't know if I've even looked at any fan castings for Lex Luthor.
Well, like we've talked about it, like who we would want. Who would be your favorite pick for Lex Luthor?
How old is Corn Sweat again?
30.
I don't know.
Oh. Well, it's Nicholas Hoult.
Holt? Ooh. They fit him in somewhere.
Yep. He got dicked out of the Batman. He got dicked out of Superman. So it's kind of fitting that now he's playing Superman's mortal enemy.
Yeah.
Because he gets to use all of his rage for not getting Superman and putting it into hating Superman.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But I can't wait
pick.
Dude, I can't fucking wait to get a comic accurate Lex Luthor on the big screen. That this whole movie in general, Superman Legacy in general, I'm just so excited to see like a traditional take on Superman, because a lot of people grew up with the, older people grew up with the 78 one, and that's pretty traditional. Yeah. And that's good. But like the Lex Luthor that we've had recently with Jesse Eisenberg and the Jimmy Olsen, who's in the movie for 10 minutes in BVS and then gets killed, like that's not the type of incarnation I want to see. I think I'm all for changing things up when it's starting to get repetitive.
I mean, I'll tell you what it is. It's fucking poopy pants is what it was.
Like Matt Reeves changing it up and getting like this more dark, nihilistic, emo-ish Batman was really timely because we've had so many Batmans in a row, and it was something to try and do different.
Yeah.
And it sticks out because it's different. But we've never really gotten like a modern, traditional Superman world.
Yeah,
with
not
the
at all.
Daily Planet and Metropolis and Perry White and all the shit that like you read in the comics. Like you
Yeah.
read All-Star Superman, and Lex Luthor's fucking sick.
Yeah, he's
Like,
awesome.
I want him to be the same age as Superman and be a badass.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hoping Nicholas Holt's going to be, because he's a great actor. I'm glad he chose like a villain role. I think
Yeah.
that's really interesting.
I think it's going to really open up some of his range.
Because he could have just sold out and became like a new MCU character, but I mean, I guess that's not selling out. But I just think it's much more interesting to become a villain for like one of the most popular villains
Yeah.
ever, probably.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'd say so.
definitely Superman's most popular villain, I suppose.
I'm super stoked on Superman Legacy.
Oh yeah, and then they cast Jimmy Olsen as well, which I don't think you know this guy by name, but you've seen him before. His name's Skylar Gisondo, and he was a popular fan cast too. He looks.
What was he in?
He was in Licorice Pizza, but he was a really minor role. But he's been acting like ever since he was a kid, so he was in a lot of stuff as a kid.
Oh, his face does look familiar to me.
Yeah, he's been all over the place. Let me see.
I'm trying to place him. I know I've seen his face before. He's
in Booksmart. I haven't seen that, but you have. Night at the Museum.
You got me at Night at the Museum.
It says he's in The Amazing Spider-Man, Four Christmases. I think he was one of the kids in Four Christmases.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he was a popular fan cast along with Nicholas Holt, and some people are kind of taking a jab at James Gunn for going with the popular like Twitter fan cast, but it's like sometimes those are the best options.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're popular fan casts for a reason, because it makes a lot of sense. And
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's going in there like, let me get the biggest name. I think
dude, he doesn't give
he's
a
going
fuck
in there
about
like
what the fans want.
yeah, dude, he's show me Superman, and
Yeah.
then Cornswet showed up and he said that's the guy,
Yeah.
and he said show me Lex Luthor, and then fucking Holt showed up and he said that's the guy.
Yeah. It happens that his vision for who he wanted to cast aligned with what the fans wanted.
Yeah,
But he doesn't, dude. I mean, when he cast Chris Pratt in Guardians of the Galaxy, like, people thought that was a horrible casting. He was known for Parks and Rec.
yeah,
He wasn't like jacked, he wasn't in shape yet, he hadn't shown off the charisma. He was just like the goofy guy from Parks and Rec. And he cast him as the lead of a Marvel team.
yeah,
And he doesn't give a fuck about fan castings. It just happened to align this time where there were a lot of great options for each role, and James Gunn saw the same thing that the fans did.
Not to mention he probably had a ton of people. Like, I think once it came out that James Gunn was gonna be taking over the DCU, and he's gonna be doing things like right, he probably had a big line of people that was like, well, yeah, I'll do it if you're taking over.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm super excited for Superman Legacy.
Yeah,
That's
it's
gonna
gonna
be
be
fucking awesome.
Awesome. It's gonna blow Man of Steel out of the water.
Dude, we're getting Superman Legacy and Batman Part 2 in the same year.
Oh my god, dude.
That's ridiculous.
I can't even like.
I'll have no cum left.
Yeah. How do you even come off of one of those to go to the other one?
Yeah, that's wild. So yeah, those two castings. Apparently, Perry White's gonna be cast pretty soon, so that'll be cool. But it seems like he's really doing like he's gonna spend a lot of time with Clark and Lois at the Daily Planet, because they're casting a bunch of people who work at the Daily Planet, and I think that's great.
I think so. Yeah,
I want to see that.
The defining factor of Superman is him as Clark Kent.
Yeah.
You know.
So, and I want to see him be goofy and clumsy, and like when he's Clark, he has like bad posture and he hunches over, and then when he's Superman, he like corrects his posture and he like all the stuff that Christopher Reeve did.
Yeah, like when
I
he
want to see all
fucking-
that stuff.
When he get a gun pulled on him, and he tries to shoot Lois, and so he pretends to faint
Yeah.
but catches the bullet.
Yeah, he acts.
He's like,
cowardly.
"Oh Lord!"
Yeah, he acts cowardly to the same thing Bruce Wayne does, where he acts like an idiot in public and he acts like a womanizer and all this stuff, so no one will suspect that he's Batman,
Yeah,
because
he's the complete opposite of Batman.
yeah, it would be the equivalent of like fucking Hugh Hefner being Batman in like our world.
Yeah.
It's like no one would ever think
You'd be like,
that.
"Yeah, right."
Yeah. This week or next week, I can't remember. Penguin is resuming filming.
Oh,
so
nice.
I'm pretty stoked about that.
Heck yeah.
That's coming out next year, supposedly. Just give it to me.
Yeah.
Just give it to me now. More Batman content. I'm in.
My legs are up, ready to fucking take it.
Yeah. And then today, so you probably don't know this person by name either, but Melissa Barrera was the lead of like the last 2 Scream movies. She's Jenna Ortega's sister.
Yeah, yeah.
She got fired from Screen 7 today because she spoke out about the Israel-Palestine thing.
Yeesh.
Yeah. So that fucking sucks because no one should ever be fired for speaking their mind about something. No matter how you feel about that situation, that just shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
And then Jenna Ortega basically, they're saying it's scheduling conflicts, but she basically quit because they fired Melissa Barrera because they're like, the leads together and they're friends. And
dude.
yeah, so everyone, it seems like this may start a butterfly effect of like everyone leaving the Scream franchise because no one's with that shit.
Yeah.
So
plus, I think Jenna Ortega was like one of the biggest stars.
Yeah, because they would have never fired. I don't think they would have ever fired Jenna Ortega if she said something because she's the draw for the Scream franchise.
Yeah.
She's like the America's favorite.
Yeah, she's massive right now.
Yeah, but they fired Melissa Barrera thinking nothing would happen, and she's not as important as Jenna Ortega. And then Jenna Ortega dipped, and now they're probably kicking themselves for ever doing anything.
Yeah,
because no one's gonna watch it now. Like, everyone hates. I can't remember the company's name that makes Scream, but like everyone's like boycotting it now, like saying don't watch Scream 7 because this is horseshit. Yeah. So yeah, they fucked it bad. But I had when I was researching last week for the David Fincher episode, there was something I found out about the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo production that I forgot to mention that I wanted to.
Okay.
And it's in like the years following the release of Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and they were like talking about doing a sequel. They wanted to do a sequel. It turned into a show, blah, blah, blah. I talked about all that last week. David Fincher actually wanted to direct the Aaron Sorkin written Steve Jobs movie starring Michael Fassbender, which at the time was going to be Christian Bale.
Oh, shit.
As Steve Jobs. And he wanted to direct it. And then they gave the movie to Danny Boyle instead. And then that was the final straw for David Fincher saying, like, fuck all this Girl with the Dragon Tattoo shit. Like, I'm done with y'all. And then he went on to, like, work with Netflix. And I just thought that was interesting.
Dude, I can't imagine, like, dicking David Fincher.
Who do you think you are?
That's what I'm saying, dude.
You know the balls you have to have?
The audacity on you, dude.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah, and also David Fincher nowadays is a much bigger draw than Danny Boyle.
Yeah.
Danny Boyle's a great filmmaker, and to people like us in the film community, we would get excited about a Danny Boyle movie, but like general audiences, some of them know David Fincher.
Yeah.
Like he's not as big as Tarantino or Spielberg, but like
more people definitely know Fincher than Danny Boyle.
Sure. Yeah, so it's surprising that they chose Danny Boyle over him, but I think it may have been because Fincher wanted Bale, and Bale was too expensive, and they said they couldn't pay Bale and Fincher because Fincher charges a lot to direct. So maybe they just went with like the cheaper options.
Yeah,
that's probably what it was. But yeah, that's all the stuff I have to go over. So I've got some trivia.
Hit me with it. I've got some trivia as well.
All right. Who was supposed to make a Justice League film in the late 2000s before it got canceled?
Ooh. In the late 2000s?
Yeah, it was like 2006, 2007.
Let me think here.
It was called Justice League Mortal.
Mortal. I don't know. I didn't even know there was a Justice League like project that was going to happen before the one we got.
You did, because I told you.
Oh, I don't remember.
You forgot. George Miller.
Oh my god.
He cast Armie Hammer as Batman.
I'm kind of glad that didn't go through.
Yep.
You would have had quite the controversy on your hands.
Yeah, that would be rough. But yeah, there's a lot. Like, you can look up concept art, and like the whole team was cast, and there's a lot you can read about that movie that didn't get made. But
I'll definitely look into it. But
Yeah.
it seems like they dodged a bullet with that, dude.
yeah, this one should be pretty easy. But what's the name of Russell Crowe's character in Gladiator?
It's Thaddeus.
I guess it's not easy.
Or
It's not as easy as I thought.
is it Decius? He's like, my name is like Julius Thaddeus Dexius or something.
Okay, so it's not as easy as I thought at all.
What is it?
Maximus Decimus Meridius.
Maximus Decimus Meridius, yeah. I knew it was one of those us's names.
Julius.
Yeah.
Thaddeus. Oh, yeah.
It would have been awesome if his name was Thaddeus, dude. That would have been sick.
They call him Thad for short.
Oh, that, you're talking about turning it up to 11. Thaddeus.
What's your trivia?
So I got an easy one off the gate. It's, what Shakespeare play has the most film adaptations?
Macbeth.
No.
Romeo and Juliet.
No.
There's another big one next to Macbeth. Who made one of the adaptations?
I don't know.
Awesome. You don't know a single adaptation?
I mean, I know the movies. I just don't know who made the movies.
Awesome. I don't know.
It's Hamlet.
Mm.
All right, my next trivia is, what movie had, you probably know this, but what movie has the highest amount of on-screen deaths?
That's a pretty hard question.
Oh, I thought you. This movie has like a lot of there's a lot of like information behind like the filming of the movie, because it was like a really hard thing to film. So I figured you would have watched like one of the director commentaries or something on it and
Most
looked into
on-screen deaths.
Yeah.
John Wick 4?
No.
Is it an action movie?
It's not the predominant genre.
Like Lord of the Rings?
There we go. Yeah.
Return of the King?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. You got it.
nice.
836 deaths. in that
Jesus
movie.
fucking
Yeah.
Christ. But how many of those are orcs? Because orcs don't matter.
Orcs are a part of it, but there's still a lot of people. I mean, it's a war between orcs and people,
Yeah.
and a lot of people died too.
Me and the boys were debating the other day about like what constitutes an action movie. Because when I think of action movie, it's like action is the point of the movie. Like, of course, great action movies will have a good story and good character building, and like John Wick 4 has a great story and great character arcs, but the point of the movie being made is action.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, in my head, what like an action movie is. It's the reason you go to see it. And because some people were saying that Lord of the Rings are action movies. I was like, I'd say it's fantasy before action. I'd say it's adventure before action. I'd say it's even like sci-fi before action. And
yeah, I mean, it.
Like, just because it has action doesn't make it an action movie. The same way you can have jokes in a movie without it being a comedy.
Yeah, no, it's definitely. It's one of those things like there. Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's definitely a fantasy movie.
Yeah.
It's got all the fantasy tropes that you could ever want.
I'd say you don't even need a subgenre. You just say it's a fantasy movie.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much...
There's action that happens, but it's like...
Maybe like fantasy epic.
Like, technically all the superhero movies are like sci-fi, but I put those... like, it's a superhero movie.
Yeah, they've
separate
kind of
section
there's
of
so many
sci-fi.
made now that they're kind of just their own genre
Yeah.
of sci-fi, like just a little pocket to the side,
Yeah.
comic book movies. And then they were talking about if Kill Bill's an action movie, because they say it is, or some of them do, but like it's not to me. I would never think. Someone said, "Give me a good action movie." I would never say Kill Bill, and I don't really have a good reason why, other than like that's just the way I feel about it.
What would you call it?
I'd call it like a revenge thriller, or something like that. Like I don't think. I mean, I don't know, because I said that I constitute an action movie as like action being the reason you're there, and like Kill Bill kind of is that. So I guess that would be kind of hypocritical to say it's not an action movie, but I don't know. I guess you just get a certain vibe from like action movies.
Yeah, I mean, it is weird too because Kill Bill is one of those movies. Like, there's a lot of kind of satire in Kill Bill too.
Mm-hmm.
So
maybe it's the fact
there's
that
a lot of over the top like kind of goofiness that happens. So it's not really taking itself super serious.
yeah,
So it's hard to take the action serious.
yeah. But also, like, one of my favorite action movies of all time is Point Break, and that movie really doesn't have a lot of action.
Yeah.
Maybe 15 minutes of on-screen action in the whole movie.
It just feels like
And
an
so-
action movie though.
But it just feels like an action movie. So I don't know. I guess it's just kind of something that's hard to define.
Yeah.
But I don't think of Kill Bill as an action movie. I think of it more of a revenge thriller.
Yeah.
It's
It's one
probably
of those
what I'd
things that
call it.
like you just kind of get a vibe from it.
Yeah. Genre is never really going to be something that is conclusive.
Yeah, it's hard to box something.
It's sort
in.
of an opinion, like what genre a movie is.
Yeah.
Because to
Alien,
me,
I
American
think-
Psycho is a comedy, and to some other people, it may be a horror movie.
Yeah.
And there is no right or wrong answer. It's
Yeah.
like different movies make different people feel differently, and you're gonna label that movie based on how it makes you feel.
Yeah.
So
As
if
long as
you
you've-
find a movie really funny, even if it's not supposed to be, you can call it whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like, if for some reason I found Silence of the Lambs hysterical, I could call it a comedy, and no one can tell me I'm wrong because
Yeah.
I think it's a comedy because I think it's funny.
Yeah. As long as you've seen it, that's what really matters.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was just a little sidebar, I guess.
Yeah.
But we're never gonna get to a point where like everyone agrees on every single movie genre.
Yeah.
Like how I don't think Get Out is a horror movie.
Yeah.
Some people do. A lot of people do.
And then like Alien, I think Alien is more of a horror movie than it is sci-fi, even though it has straight up alien and spaceships. But the vibe I get from the first Alien is more horror than it is sci-fi.
Sure, but I also think that like I don't know. I just consider it sci-fi horror. And
I mean,
don't
yeah,
really
you're not wrong.
I don't
either
lean one
way.
more than the other. Like Alien and The Thing are like sci-fi horror to me, and that's like I don't know. I don't really think about it any deeper than that.
Yeah.
If I'm making a horror list, it's on there. If I'm making a sci-fi list, it's on there. Sci-fi horror.
I don't know. I don't know if I was making a sci-fi list, it'd be like one of the it'd be very low down on the sci-fi list. The Thing and Alien. But if I was making a horror, I mean, they're top 5
Yeah.
horror.
Yeah. So we never really talked about what this episode is. I guess you can tell by the title, but we haven't seen many new releases recently. We've got a bunch of catching up to do, hopefully this weekend. But we've got like 3 or 4 movies on the watch list, which isn't a lot, but they're pretty heavy hitters.
Yeah.
So I feel like we may be able to talk about them for a decent amount of time. So this will probably be a shorter episode than normal, but
Next episode should be pretty stacked though.
yeah.
We got some big plans because
Yeah.
we still gotta try and watch that horror movie.
We have to watch Napoleon, Saltburn, Thanksgiving. Apparently the new Hunger Games is really good. So probably have to watch that. Next Goal Wins. We still haven't watched.
Yeah, dude, we got a fucking...
That's 5 movies.
We've got a big-ass list, and I'm off the rest of the week. That's why I worked late. Monday and Tuesday. I got off early today, and I'm off the rest of the week.
Might be able to do a dub on Friday.
Dude, I might be able to get fucking pounded.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll start with the first watch of the watch list, which was The Holdovers.
The Holdovers.
Yep.
I think me and you talked about it. Our first introduction to the old Paul Giamatti was when he was blue.
Yep. Yep. I didn't know what the movie was called, but I was like, I remember like seeing him when I was a kid, and he was blue.
Yeah.
That's what I remember from Paul Giamatti.
Big fat liar.
And then I didn't see him again until he was the Rhino at the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Heck yeah.
So
I saw him in Private Parts after that, which I wasn't supposed to watch. It was Howard Stern's movie.
Yeah.
My dad fucking loved Howard Stern.
Really?
Yeah. It's
mean, so funny that he used to be an actor. I don't think of him as an actor at all.
He's fucking really weird looking to be an actor.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he was a truck driver, so all he did was listen to the radio most of the time.
Hell yeah.
So fucking
that's the dream.
The Stern guy.
Yeah.
He's what did it for him.
Yeah. I don't think we even watched the trailers for The Holdovers, did we?
No, I hadn't. I mean, I'd seen promotional little like pictures pop up, but I hadn't seen the trailer.
Yeah.
I just knew it was supposed to be like a comedy from what I saw.
Yeah, I think the trailers came on one time when we were seeing a movie, but I had already heard the early reviews were good, so I got on my phone and didn't watch it. It's what I do for like movies I don't really want to know much about, like The Iron Claw. Still haven't watched the trailer because I'm just fucking pumped for it without the trailer, so I want to go in knowing as little as possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, we went in blind for The Holdovers and blew me away.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, it's right up my alley. It's in that like, not comparing quality, but the same. It gives you like the same kind of feeling as stuff like Dead Poet Society and Good Will Hunting and things like that. Really get the juices flowing.
Kind of like somewhat like a coming of age feel good movie.
Yeah. So it's about Paul Giamatti, who's like this older teacher at this boarding school, and no one likes him. The students don't like him. The teachers don't like him. He's just grumpy.
Yeah, he's a hard ass.
Yeah, he's a hard ass. And he's getting punished by the principal of the school because the principal told him to pass the student whose dad like was a big donator to the school and like built them a gym. So he was like, make sure you pass his son. Like, if you don't pass his son, we'll probably not get funding from him again. And then he didn't pass him because he was like, he didn't earn it, and just being a hard ass. So then his punishment was he had to stay behind with the holdovers, which means the kids that couldn't go home for Christmas.
Yeah.
Like for whatever reason, their parents are in a foreign country or, you know, what have you. There's like 5 kids that have to stay behind at the school, and he has to watch them. And, God, should we get into spoilers for this? Because it's new.
It is pretty new. We should probably hold off. Hold over.
Oh!
Oh my God, dude, I'm on it today.
Well, it's going to be hard to talk about it for a long time then if we're not doing spoilers, but yeah, so
I know we can go into it if you want, if you'd rather do that.
I don't know, I just don't know really how to talk about it without spoiling it.
Well, I can tell you the one thing that's really burned into I had kind of a profound experience watching this movie, but the way it's shot is fucking amazing.
Oh yeah, I can talk about some of that stuff.
Yeah, visually, I was coming everywhere.
Yeah, so it's set in 1970, and the second it starts, you realize that, like, the aspect ratio is, I don't know the exact aspect ratio, but it's close to like square.
Yeah.
Like the edges of the screen are blacked out and it's a smaller image and there's film grain, and the movie starts with like the snow-covered school, and it's just like it's opening credits, and it's the montage of like the school and the snow coming down and everything, and it plays this song. right here.
Oh my god, dude. Silver Joy?
Yeah.
Dude.
I've had it on repeat.
Non-stop for
Dude.
3 days after the holdovers. I was terminating a panel fucking in the middle of work playing it, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. The
wanna
second
drive
that
to
started
snow.
playing, I was like, this is going to be awesome.
This is
is
where I'm
exactly
supposed
what
to
I
be.
want.
Yeah.
This is right where I should be right at this second.
Yeah.
It sets the tone instantly with the vibe that you get put in. And I didn't know I didn't know who the filmmaker was like before I saw it, but I assumed it was a new guy. I assumed it was some newcomer, because it seems like a low budget, like something you could make pretty cheap.
I actually did know who the director was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because one of the promotional pictures I saw, I haven't seen anything by him, but it was like, the first time that Giamatti and Payne have been reunited since Sideways, and I was like,
Oh,
the hell is Sideways?
yeah. So I watched it and I was like, that was fucking awesome. So then I went and watched a bunch of interviews and behind the scenes shit, and watched a bunch of interviews with Alexander Payne, and he was talking about making the movie. And he is a really good interviewer, like interviewee.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because a lot of directors are very secretive and talk in riddles because I don't know, they don't want to reveal too much, and they're very private. And he basically, like, he has like no filter, and he'll just say whatever. Like, I can't remember exactly, but it's very refreshing to listen to a guy like him talk about making movies where he has like no
Just doesn't give a fuck.
yeah, he doesn't give a fuck about anything.
Yeah.
Like, basically, he hadn't made a movie since Downsizing, and the interviewer was like, how come, like, you took 6 years to make this? Like, did it take that long to make, or were there other things you tried to get made and couldn't, and like, when did you have the idea for this, and blah blah blah. And he just went through, like, yeah, in 2017 I was trying to make this movie, that fell through. In 2018 I tried to get this script going, and the studio didn't want to do it. And he just like went through like what he was doing all that time, and like things that most directors won't talk about, things that didn't happen. Yeah. Same with actors. Like, actors don't like talking about movies that they didn't get.
Yeah.
Or directors get talking about movies that they wanted to make, and no studio would, greenlight it. But yeah, he was just going through like everything that, and basically, yeah, he was like, he produced a couple things, and he got the idea for the Holdovers when he read a script about like these kids in a boarding school set in the 80s. So he called the guy who wrote the script, and he was like, hey, your script's great, but I have an idea for a movie. Would you like help me write the script for it? And then so they worked on the script together and made that, and it's pretty fucking awesome.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna have to watch some of his interviews, because
yeah, he's a really cool guy.
Cool guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to watch, dude. I was gonna go watch Downsizing with my sister when it came out, because it seemed ridiculous. It seemed hilarious, but we never went and watched it.
Yeah.
So this is my first Alexander Payne movie, I think.
Yeah. Oh, and he said he's working on his next movie being a Western.
Oh my god,
Which
dude,
is
that's
crazy.
gonna be awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, he made Election, which is a really big movie.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, it's got Reese Witherspoon and Matthew Broderick in it.
Ooh.
It's in the Criterion Collection.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's pretty big time. But yeah, so he was talking about how he wanted to work with Paul Giamatti for so long, and like couldn't find the right project to put him in, and how they're so like good at working with each other that they can like shorthand and like a take wind, and then Alexander Payne will be like, yeah, could you just exactly, and like not even finish sentences, but they know exactly what they're asking of each other.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was really cool hearing him talk about all that shit. But yeah, I loved the movie. It feels like movies that don't get made anymore.
Yeah, I can't think of the last like feel good movie that I watched in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess I guess Everything Everywhere.
Most
is
movies have a
kinda like
feel good
that.
moment, but
Like a feel good coming of age moment.
Yeah.
Like this particular movie feels a certain way.
it feels like an 80s movie.
Yeah.
Which I guess it's supposed to be a 70s movie, but I've seen more of these movies in like the 80s than I have in the 70s.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it does feel like someone went and filmed this in the 70s and then locked it away, and 40 years, 30, 50 years later, they're like unveiling it and letting us watch it.
Yeah.
Like it feels like it was made back then, and
Yeah.
that's an impressive feat. Also because Alexander Payne couldn't shoot it on film, I think, because it was too expensive. So he shot it digitally and then added film grain in post, and
Oh
it
my
looks
God.
gorgeous.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
Yeah, so I'm sure he would have preferred to shoot on film, but it is really expensive to shoot on film.
Yeah.
A lot of times only guys like Nolan and Tarantino and Fincher can can whip their cock out enough to say like,
Dude,
I don't care how expensive it is.
There was a picture of Nolan filming Oppenheimer, and it was one of the scenes of Kill Shot, like laying in bed. And he had this fucking enormous,
this enormous
dude, I
camera.
thought he was having an X-ray
Yeah.
done, dude.
Yeah.
It was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
It was like,
dude.
Jesus Christ,
That IMAX
Nolan.
camera's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
They interviewed Killian and asked him like how weird it is having an object that big like right next to your face, because you have to get close-up shots of like his eyes and his face,
Yeah.
and it's massive. He was like, yeah, it's quite odd,
that's a good kill shot, dude.
but you get used to it, you know. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so they didn't shoot it on film, but it looks just like fucking film.
yeah. It looks fantastic. Every shot just kept me captivated,
Yeah.
nonstop.
Yeah, and the kid in the movie, the main kid, what's his character's name? Do you remember? Angus, yeah.
Yeah.
The actor's name is Dominic Sessa, and this was his first movie.
That's wild.
Yeah, first ever performance on film, and Alexander Payne found him because they were location scouting, like trying to find a school to shoot at, and Payne had the idea of just like, while we're at these schools, let's audition. Like, let's let the theater, I don't know what you call it, like the kids in theater there, like let's let them audition for like the roles, because then they'll be in the right age group, and like they'll be local, and it would just make a lot of sense. And then they found him there at like one of the schools that they were location scouting for.
What
And
luck.
he was 17 and like only did school plays, and that was the only acting experience he has, and he's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I mean, he's going toe to toe with Paul Giamatti, and Paul Giamatti is on top of it in this movie. He's masterful.
Yeah, I'm hoping Paul gets a Oscar nomination.
Oh yeah, I hope
He's
so.
fucking great.
Yeah, it's really outstanding what
Yeah.
they were able to accomplish.
Yeah, they have a bunch of chemistry on screen, and Dominic Sessa never. I feel like a lot of young actors feel the need to overact because they've never acted before, and you have this idea of what acting is, but it's more about like the nuanced stuff. And he really did a great job, like feeling like a real person and not like a kid trying to act.
Yeah.
So Alexander Payne did a great job casting. The other kids, not to spoil anything, but like the other kids you don't really see too much of.
Yeah. It's mainly Paul and Sessa.
Yeah, and Mary.
Yeah, Mary.
Yeah, and that was a like pleasant. The movie has like these cliches that you expect with the type of movie that it is, but it also really subverts your expectations at times. So I think it does enough to keep you on your toes and do shit that's wild that you're not expecting. Like when Paul Giamatti's chasing him and then he runs onto the basketball court and jumps on the trampoline and breaks his arm. And at first you think he's like kind of fucking with him.
Yeah.
Or at least I did. I thought he was joking around. And then his fucking arm was broken. And then you get that great scene at the hospital, and also like mild spoilers, I guess. I think you can kind of get the idea from the trailers, but the kids, like, all the kids except for one leave, like, pretty early into the movie.
Yeah, I didn't expect
like,
that at all.
Holy fuck. Like, I thought this was what the movie was about, and these, all of them but one just left.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you do get those, like, crowd-pleasing moments and, like, the stuff you expect with the type of movie that this is, but you also get enough that's different that it doesn't feel like it's borrowing too much.
Yeah.
It feels like it's taking inspiration, but doing enough to be original on its own.
Yeah, dude. It's just a beautifully made movie about, you know, a group of people who are just together in this situation who are really, like, kind of impacting each other's lives in very subtle ways. They're finding a lot of common ground amongst themselves, understanding how each other think and behave. Yeah. And then just kind of coming together.
Yeah, it's the classic, like, being stuck with people you don't think you would like, but
Breakfast
you end
Club.
up, but you end up really liking them and growing close with them over the film. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I gave it a 4.5. I'm buying it on Blu-ray. Hopefully it gets one. I'm assuming. I think it's done really well at the box office, so I assume it's getting one. But if it does, I'm getting it day one. Yep. And I'll probably watch it, like, every Christmas.
Oh yeah.
It's not very Christmassy, I will say. It's snowy and, like, it's the right time of year, but other than, like, one scene where they go to a Christmas party, it's not very Christmassy, but it's so good of a movie that I'll fit it in.
Yeah, I think it still fits, even though you don't have a lot of the aesthetic of it. It's because they're trapped in that school, but the school is gorgeous. Yeah, the score is gorgeous to look at.
Yeah, and also it has a really good sense of humor.
Yeah, it is really funny at times.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, like, throughout.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna spoil any of the jokes. I think everyone should watch it, but it's got a great ending. It has a very Dead Poet Society ending. Yeah, there's no, like, which is one of my favorite movies. So
yeah, there's no, like, big moment in it too, which was, like, kind of what I was expecting it to get to be, this like a it's not your fault moment, but yeah, it doesn't really do that.
Yeah, which is gonna bother some people, but I really liked that. There is no big moment it builds up to. It's a collection of subtle moments. Yeah. That just add up. If you pay attention and you're invested in it, it'll add up and be fulfilling at the end of the movie. Yeah. But there is no, oh, Captain, my Captain, or it's not your fault scene. Yeah. Like, there is no big moment that you're probably going to go watch on YouTube over and over again. It's the whole movie is consistently giving you these subtle moments that add up to a very fulfilling experience. Yeah. So, yeah.
I'd definitely like to own it, as long as I don't get dicked like I did with Oppenheimer.
You didn't get dicked.
I got dicked.
No, you just snoozed.
I woke up at 12:40.
You didn't pre-order it.
I understand I missed the pre-order. Listen to what I'm telling you. Released on the 21st. I woke up at 12:40 a.m. Still showed coming soon. I was like, all right, they'll probably release it later on. Woke up again at 2:20. Sold out.
Yeah. I mean, you can't count on them having any available. Like, if every copy that they make gets pre-ordered, then there aren't any opening day for you to get.
No, they did a release. I'm saying it sold out like a second time.
Well, you don't know that.
I'm pretty sure.
How?
Because I'm starting to see a lot more on fucking Mercari now for $80.
Yeah, because everyone's getting them.
I don't know.
People order multiple, and
I don't understand.
They're coming now.
I don't think they would do a pre-order of every copy that they had, and then not have an official release. Because then, like, why would you say coming soon on an official release? Why wouldn't you just keep it sold out?
That's what it always says. If a pre-order sells out, it doesn't say sold out. It says coming soon.
It did say sell out on the pre-orders.
It wasn't a pre-order anymore. When it said sold out, it was the day of the release. It transitioned from coming soon to sold out because the pre-order was over and it became release day.
I don't know how it works, but I was trying to get there, and it didn't happen. And all the people that are fucking scalping it, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Go get a real job and stop being a fucking doofus.
Dude, I
Stop
could have
being
made a bunch of money if I would have bought like 5 copies.
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing them sold on eBay right now for $120.
Yep.
They cost $30.
Yeah, dude. The cheapest
That's
one I
$90
found,
profit on each one.
Yeah, the cheapest one I've found so far was like $80 on Mercari, and I was like, that's more than double the price.
Yeah.
Of what it was.
Yeah.
So not only are you making your money back, but you're making enough to do it like another time.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to talk shit about anybody, but I just find it a little slimy.
It's like people scalping fucking concert tickets.
Yeah.
It's not
I don't
good.
know.
If you don't, you might not think it's bad, but it's definitely not a good thing to do.
Yeah, it's just, it's like, hey, I know there's this thing you want, but I bought all of them, so now pay me 4 times as much.
Yeah.
It's like, I'd rather them just go get it for the same price I got mine.
Yeah, people that actually care about it and aren't just trying to like make money.
Now, if you bought them, this would be a pretty Chad thing to do. But if you bought them, like 5 copies, and you sell them on eBay, like fair, like pretty much the same price as you bought them. Like if you paid $37, I think it is after tax, and you sold them for like $45 on eBay, just like to cover shipping, to bring down the price on eBay, and to give like people who didn't get an opportunity to get it, like give them a fair price compared to the $120 people are charging.
Yeah,
that'd be a pretty Chad thing.
That would be nuts. But I think there are people that don't give a fuck about movies that are just buying them.
Oh yeah,
to resell them and make money.
Oh yeah, because steelbooks are collectible items, and they make a limited amount of them. And
yeah. I'm glad that it's selling out.
Dude, I'm glad
this shit is being smeared in Best Buy's face.
The standard 4K is sold out.
That's crazy.
I've never seen a standard 4K release sell out on opening day.
That's
I've
insane.
never seen that. It might break like home. What's it called? I forgot the word they use, but like it might break physical media records for how many copies they're gonna sell.
Yeah.
Because the steelbook sold out in 3 hours.
Yeah.
When the steelbook was like the pre-order opened up for the steelbook, it sold out in 3 hours. I heard about it at 6. I saw it. It went live at 6. I got mine, and it sold out at 9.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything, even for big movies. Normally, you have like at least a couple days to get your pre-order in when they first announce it. Sold out in 3 hours.
Absolutely insane.
So
yeah, I told Logan I've just accepted the fact that I'm probably not going to have a copy unless they do another release. Because I'm not paying scalper prices for it.
Yeah.
If it was like $50, whatever. I was
stomach 15.
Yeah,
I
fell
was
asleep.
snoozing.
Even if it was like 60, I'd be like, I overslept. I missed the alarm.
Yeah.
Didn't get it. But
this is the price I pay.
$100
for my sins.
Like I'm not doing it, dude.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
It's not. I mean, it sounds bad as 100, but when you're like, I would have spent 30, so really I'm paying an extra $70. That's still $70.
Yeah.
It's like Jesus, dude.
Yeah.
I would imagine they're gonna do another release though.
They surely could. They'd probably
make some fucking.
They did
money.
it for the Batman.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I'm not sure why they did another one for the Batman, because that's not a very common thing to do from the same company. Because I have the 2 Batman steelbooks, and they're both from Best Buy. It wasn't like I got a Best Buy exclusive and then went and got a Target exclusive.
Yeah.
It's like Best Buy released their steelbook for the Batman, and then like months later just made a new one with different art and released it again.
That's crazy.
And I like the second one's art better, and that one's like still, I'm pretty sure it's still available. It didn't even sell out.
That's crazy, dude.
And that's crazy to me because it's a gorgeous steelbook for like a masterpiece that everyone loves. I don't know how it's still in stock.
I wonder how the Barbie steelbook is doing. Or have they done one yet?
I think it's sold out, but they did one. It looked kind of stupid though.
Yeah, but Oppenheimer and Barbie
Oh,
was like
yeah.
the two biggest movies of the year.
Oh no, Barbie, a lot of the people that saw Barbie were like not real movie fans. They were just wave hoppers.
Yeah.
And they just wanted to be part of the joke or, be part of the movement.
Yeah.
But people who saw Oppenheimer love movies and buy movies.
Yeah.
So those are Barbie's home sales isn't going to be as good as Oppenheimer, I would assume.
But yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. So what else do we got here? Next thing on my watch list. Fucking Cloverfield.
Oh, you watched? That was your solo watch?
That was my solo watch.
What'd you think?
I liked it.
Really?
Yep. What do you know? I like another Matt Reeves movie. That's crazy. Yep. Have you heard my Matt Reeves hot take?
No.
Which you probably don't even think is a hot take because we agree on this on said person. But I think Matt Reeves is a better director than Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get crucified for thinking that.
Dude,
people think Paul Thomas Anderson is the fucking king penis. It's like he's a good director. Like when you think about just what a director does in terms of like getting performances and the way he shoots scenes and the way he edits scenes, like technically he's a great director, but he makes movies that don't interest me.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's the yeah.
Like,
I would take
it's because he writes his movies and directs them, but I don't find him a great writer.
Yeah.
I don't really love the way he writes and the types of characters that he writes. And like if Paul Thomas Anderson would just direct some great script, I'm sure I'd love it because as a filmmaker, technically he's amazing. His movies look amazing and sound amazing, and there's elements to them that are masterful, but he's not a filmmaker that like really works for me other than There Will Be Blood.
Yeah,
that's like the one that sticks out that's like that's fucking sick.
There Will Be Blood is a perfect movie.
Yeah.
End of story.
Yeah.
And I really like Punch Drunk Love. And that's like about it.
Yeah, and then Punch Drunk Love for me is like a 4.
Yeah.
It's a 4-star. There Will Be Blood's the only 5-star in his filmography for me.
Yeah, me too.
And then it's like under that is like Boogie Nights and Punch Drunk Love and Phantom Thread all like kind of tied there at second with like a 3.5 or 4-star. Like they're fine. They're good. They're good movies. But people talk about him like he can do no wrong and like he's a master. And it's like the master.
He's the master.
I fucking hate the master.
Yeah.
Like
I
don't know.
There's nothing that makes me happier than hearing someone say they hate the master because that movie fucking blows.
Dude,
it blows ass.
Yeah, it's two incredible performances. So fucking what? It still has to be interesting.
Yeah.
Like
that's what I'm saying. Like if you go through the master like on a technical standpoint, it's really good.
Oh yeah.
It looks good. It's got great performances. You know, a pretty cool setting, a cool era. But
if you already know the answer, then why ask the question? Pig fuck!
Yeah, that's my favorite part.
Pig fuck!
And it just cuts it. Yeah. But even when I first watched it, I had to watch it in 2 parts because I took a nap halfway through.
Dude, it's a snooze
Was not
fest.
tired in the slightest. Turned it on, and my fucking brain got sucked out of my head.
Dude, I think at the end of the day, I think what it is PTA rarely ever writes characters that I care about.
Yeah.
I'd say Punch Drunk Love is one where he does pretty well. I liked Adam Sandler's character and the girl in that movie a lot, and like his sister. Still don't know where I really land on Boogie Nights, because like that's one of his more fun movies. But
I'd have to.
It's really long.
It's my big fat cock and I want to fuck. I gotta watch Boogie Nights one day.
Yeah, it's just so long, and people fucking love Boogie Nights. Like some think it's his best movie, and I enjoyed it, but it's not like some crazy thing for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, you should watch it and let me know what you think.
But Matt Reeves has,
dude,
Planet of the Apes,
slapper after slapper after slapper.
The Batman,
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, 4.5 star.
Yep.
Honestly, like maybe one day we'll go up to a 5 star. I adore that movie.
Yeah.
War for the Planet of the Apes, 4.5 star. The Batman, masterpiece, 10 out of 5 stars.
Yep.
Let Me In, 4 out of 5. Cloverfield, 3.5 out of 5.
I'm gonna have to rewatch Cloverfield because I watched Cloverfield when. Well, I guess I didn't watch it, but it came out when like kind of the found footage stuff was starting to really hit big time. And I've never been a huge fan of it, or at least not used in the way that I had seen it at the time. And I remember kind of getting a headache watching Cloverfield because of how much shaky cam there was and how much like I couldn't see anything. But I don't think my brain could have comprehended like the ambiguity of what they were going for when I watched it. So I need to rewatch it. But I think I have Let Me In at like a 3.5.
Yeah.
I'm a little less on Let Me In than you are, but still a good movie. Cloverfield, I'm sure I could rewatch and enjoy it, but like
he's never missed. Matt Reeves, unless you're counting The Pallbearer, which I haven't seen. That's from 1996, featuring David Schwimmer.
We got to check it off the list.
It
sounds like a masterpiece.
It was like it was his first movie he made, and like it was super low budget, and that may be bad. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but like since he's been making real movies with like real budgets, which I would consider starting at Cloverfield, like he hasn't missed.
Yeah.
So
I would take the Batman and the Planet of the Apes movies over basically every PTA movie.
Oh, I'd take the Batman alone over PTA's whole filmography.
Yeah.
If you said, would you rather have the Batman exist or PTA every single movie he's ever made, you know my answer. So, honestly, I was going to say something crazy.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say, honestly, I may take Dawn over his home filmography. But then I thought about all the memes from There Will Be Blood. I've abandoned my child. I've abandoned my boy. Yeah. And I drink your milkshake.
Yeah.
And yeah. So that stuff's really funny. So yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'd take his filmography, but
I don't know. I think I would take Don over his whole filmography.
Dude, Don's...
Koba is perfect.
Yeah.
And I'm higher up on Rise than most people, I feel like. So
Rise is fucking sick.
Rise is nuts.
Yeah.
So, but I feel like most people don't like it as much as me. And then obviously Dawn and War are amazing. Mm-hmm. And Dawn, him fighting Koba is the coolest shit.
Dawn is like the Dark Knight of that trilogy.
Hearing him go, apes together, strong. I'm like, oh my God, dude, my dick is hard right now.
Dude, and that was, I don't know if you remember, but that was a callback to Rise when he was in the prison. And he was talking to Maurice, and he had the stick, and he said, ape alone, and then snapped the stick.
Yeah.
And then he said, apes together, and then held 3 sticks together, and then it didn't break. Dude. I was like, that's fucking hard cock.
Dude, when they first drop him off in the zoo and Rise, and he draws the outline of his attic window on the wall and like leans up, dude.
That'll make you cry right there.
I'm about to lose it now.
Yeah.
Fucking, why'd he do my boy Caesar? And then he has to deal with fucking Draco Malfoy hosing him down, being a little cockhead.
Caesar is home.
Oh my god, dude.
That's cinema right there.
Yeah.
Give me that over fucking...
Dude, you know what else made me come? just while we're on the subject, they're fucking going down the bridge to get to the redwoods, and fucking Caesar looks over at guys and fucking does this and then does this. And they fucking go up over the fucking bridge, and then they start monkey barring across the bottom of the bridge and ambush the fucking police. God.
Yep.
That was fire.
Yep, Caesar's the fucking man.
Caesar and Maurice is the fucking homie.
He's
dude.
the homie. Oh, yeah.
We love Maurice.
Yep. And Koba's amazing villain.
Yeah.
Super slept on.
Yeah.
That movie in general's super slept on. I've been craving a Dawn watch. I'll probably just watch the whole trilogy.
Let's do it right now. We should end this and go watch Rise. Right I know we just said we had 5 movies we need to watch, but
Matt needs us. That's
Matt's
more
a
important.
calling.
Yeah. So yeah, Cloverfield. We should probably talk about that. Yeah, so this is pretty much was the last Matt Reeves movie I needed to see, like I said, other than the Paul Bear. I'll probably watch that for fun just so I can say I've seen all of his movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, since he started making real movies, this was the last one I needed to see. And it's really fucking cool. It's found footage and I guess spoilers for Cloverfield. I mean, I think everyone kind of already knows what Cloverfield is.
Here's the biggest spoiler. Did you know T.J. Miller was the guy holding the camera?
He's on camera. They show him.
Oh, I don't remember enough. I remember him saying that he was in Cloverfield, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm the guy holding the camera the whole time." And I was like, "That's crazy."
Yeah, no, he's in the movie multiple times, just as T.J. Miller.
That's insane.
And if he wasn't, do you think I wouldn't have recognized his voice?
That's what I'm saying. I'm letting you know that's him.
Yeah, I'm aware. It was him. So yeah, the movie starts with all these clips of these people you've never seen before, and basically there's this guy who's he's moving to Japan and for a job, so his friends are having a going away party for him, and there's this girl that he was dating a few months before, and they broke up, and so she showed up at the party and it was awkward, and she showed up with a new guy. So there's all this drama that's starting, and that's the first 25 minutes of the movie, and there's no action or anything like that. It's just character building, and it's pretty intense. And I remember the moment where it shifted to they heard an explosion outside and crazy shit was starting to happen, and I was like, I was invested in this, in the story. I was having a good time just seeing this found footage movie of this party and all these characters interacting with each other. But yeah, so I just think that the idea of telling basically a Godzilla movie, it's not Godzilla, but it's a kaiju pretty much. It's the same idea.
Yeah.
The idea of telling a kaiju story from a human's perspective is genius to me, because when you watch the Godzilla movies, the new ones, for example, when Godzilla and Kong are in Japan and they're fighting, it's awesome. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's awesome seeing King Kong leap off of a building and fucking
drop a fucking smackdown on Godzilla.
Do the fucking people's elbow on Godzilla. That's awesome. But there are so many people dying in the crossfire of these big fucking kaijus fighting.
Yeah.
And it can make human lives feel so insignificant when you watch movies like that. There's so many people constantly dying, and when you shrink it down and you're following just this group of people, it makes the stakes so much higher, because just the thing barely touching something can just knock down like a light, and a light falling from a certain distance could kill you.
Yeah.
And so just these like little things like debris falling and buildings, there's like buildings falling over and explosions, and there's all this shit going on. And I just feel like that's a really cool idea, like a fresh take on the Godzilla or the kaiju movie that makes it feel different. And I'd say the only thing I didn't like about it was that they showed the kaiju too much. I don't think you really needed to see it. Because like towards the end of the movie, they're just straight up showing you in broad daylight like what it looks like. And I don't know, I didn't think it was necessary. I thought it would have been cooler if it was maybe like a what's a good example? I don't want to say It Comes at Night because that's a horrible example. But I just feel like you didn't have to show it.
Yeah,
You hear a big thing outside, like roaring, and like you're seeing buildings fall down, and like you're watching the news reports. It's like you can get the idea without seeing it, but
yeah, the only thing that I would say that is important to show in a movie like that is the scale, like, of the monster.
Yeah.
So if you were like to have a scene where they walk past and they like see its eye and it's the size of like a fucking swimming pool, then you're like, well, they're fucked.
Yeah. Yeah, and they do a great job with the scale and making that thing feel ginormous and making the people feel like ants.
Yeah.
And it makes the characters feel like helpless and stuck in that city. And it's really fucking cool. There was something else I wanted to say about it.
I never really thought about that though, like what you said with like shrinking it down to the people size, because a lot of what sucks about the Godzilla movies is they always try to add the human element of like having a human character that they follow, but it's never like that. It never feels like that.
Well, it's never those characters like being in danger, really.
Yeah.
It's like a military person.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't give a fuck about the military. I'm here for Godzilla. But if there was like a Godzilla versus Kong movie and you were following like this family that was in this city where they were fighting, and so you care about the family, so you're worried that they'll get hurt in the crossfire, like that would, no one would complain about that, I don't think.
Yeah.
But it's more like the stupid military shit that you have to spend so much time on in the Godzilla movies. But yeah, really, it makes it really, it heightens the stakes. It makes it feel more like a horror movie. People feel really helpless and like there's nothing you can really do.
Yeah.
Because even if you go down into a basement and think you're safe, like the kaiju could just like step on the street and like
it's caved.
Yeah, it's caved, and then your basement's caved in and you're dead. So there's really nowhere you can go where you're safe. And yeah, I just thought it was really intense. It's really short. The pacing's really good. The camera work and like you said, making everything, the scale feel big. Like they're in the street and the kaiju fucking throws the head of the Statue of Liberty at them.
That's fucking crazy. And
it lands in the street, and I was listening to like a review or a commentary or something, and they said that they initially had the head be to scale because they got the dimensions of the head and they put it in the movie to scale. But then all the viewers, like in the test screening, said the Statue of Liberty's head would be bigger than that. So they made it bigger to like satisfy the audience.
Yeah.
But it's like not as big as you would think. So they like made it bigger for the audiences, but I just thought that was funny that they got the actual size of the head, and then people
like,
said
that's
not the size of the head.
Well, dude, something like that, something that big, like you can't even like register, like it's this big off the ground, so the head's like this.
Yeah.
It's just like you see this enormous thing, and you think it's enormous.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a 3.5. I really enjoyed it.
I'm gonna have to give that a second viewing.
Yeah, Matt doesn't miss.
Yeah, Matt's he showed up and got shit done. That's all I know.
That's all he does.
Fucking
Get shit done.
right now, I have a Matt Reeves list, and right underneath that just says "get shit done."
Yep.
That's all he does
Yep.
ever.
Mm-hmm.
And then underneath that is grow a mustache.
So then that night we watched Silence.
I am really curious to hear what you think about Silence.
Yeah,
Because I didn't think you would like it as much.
I don't know why you would think that.
I'm ready to hear it.
I've been wanting to watch Silence for a while now. There's a lot of people who think it's their favorite Martin Scorsese movie, and obviously I love Andrew Garfield and Adam Driver and Liam Neeson, and it's just something. I've had it on Blu-ray for a while. It's just a long movie, and I wanted to make sure I was, ready to take it on, because it's quite a beast of a movie.
It is a hefty boy.
And then I finally got it rec to me by my pal, so now I had a reason to finally watch it. And once again, it blew me away.
I'm right there with you.
So it's basically about two priests who their teacher or father or whatever you want to say, Liam Neeson, there's a rumor that he went to Japan and apostatized against his religion, and Andrew Garfield and Adam Driver are like, no way, that's cap. Like he'd never do that. He's the homie.
Yeah.
So we've got to go to Japan and see what the fuck's going on here, and it is quite the journey.
Yeah.
Getting there, and they meet all these characters, and it's like really dangerous to go to this area of Japan at this time as priests.
Yeah.
Because like Christianity is outlawed. Like if people find out you're a Christian, they'll fucking kill you.
Yeah.
So it was like an extremely dangerous thing, task to take on, and I don't want to get into spoilers for Silence. I don't know why. I just feel like that's not right.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll stay surface level with it. But Andrew Garfield's best performance by a mile to me.
I think so.
And that's not an easy thing. Like, he's amazing in The Social Network, and he's really good in Tick, Tick, Boom. He's got some great performances.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I haven't seen Tick, Tick, Boom, but this movie, he really stands out.
He's one of the best actors working today. He's fucking incredible.
Absolute monster.
Yeah. And
he kind of like, obviously he didn't do a bad job, but he kind of like made Adam Driver look like not as good by comparison.
He kind of did. Adam Driver's great in this.
He is great, but I think fucking like Andrew Garfield I was looking at him, that's a fucking priest. And the accent he did, the voice he did was great. And Adam Driver's voice is so fucking deep and distinct. I'm like, that's just Adam Driver praying for somebody.
Adam Driver has a tough voice to do accents with.
We have to go to Japan.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield has like a very versatile voice where he can do a lot of different accents.
Mm-hmm.
But Adam Driver has a pretty one-note voice, and it sounds a little goofy, him trying to like do the accent that he has to do for this movie.
Trying to be like Italian.
There's nothing he can do about it. It's not his fault. It's just it comes off slightly goofy.
Yeah.
A lot goofier than like Andrew Garfield, who just feels like a person.
Yeah.
He just feels like this what are they?
A missionary.
They're from Portugal. Portuguese.
Oh yeah.
This like Portuguese priest. I didn't see anything else in his performance. He completely sunk into the role.
Yeah.
And Martin Scorsese's directing is off the charts.
Yeah, he's fucking going off, dude.
Yeah. A gorgeous movie to look at, and really immerses you into the setting and the time period, and you kind of just like get lost in this journey.
Yeah.
And
at first, when it wrapped, I was like, that movie was too long. And then I thought about it, and I was like, I don't know how you make it. I don't know how you make it short. And in fact, I think the length of it, I think, is important to the actual story of the movie.
It is.
So I was like, well, fuck, dude.
Because the story of the movie is about how much can someone take and not turn against their religion, or what can you do to someone to try to make them turn against who they are inside.
Yeah.
And the whole length of the movie is needed to correctly show what all Andrew Garfield's character's been through.
Yeah.
And it's what makes the ending so impactful. And another thing I loved about it was that it sort of, to me, didn't feel preachy. It didn't feel like because Martin Scorsese's very religious.
Yeah.
He's always said, like, the two most important things to him in his life is cinema and religion.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like him saying, I'm religious and you should be too, and look how great it is.
Yeah.
It's a pretty level-headed, like, view on religion, and it's not trying to tell you, like, this way's right and this way's wrong. And it's sort of, it depicts religion in a very complex way.
I think it shows it in a way that's relatable to most people.
Mm-hmm.
I think it discusses, again, without getting into spoilers, but one of the hardest things about being religious
is the silence.
Yeah, yeah.
Not knowing, like,
yeah.
I mean, people who are religious say they know for sure, but they talk about a lot in the movie how you can keep praying and keep devoting yourself to this religion and to this God who you never hear anything from. All you hear is silence.
Yeah. That's why I think most people will, like, connect with it, because
there's a lot of people who feel that way.
There's people that feel that way, and there's so much suffering that goes on. And through it's depicted as a monologue, but through the letters he writes back to Portugal,
mm-hmm.
back to the priesthood, you kind of dive into the mind and of what Andrew Garfield's thinking and the struggles that he's going through inside.
Mm-hmm.
And everything that goes on in the movie has a purpose and reflects some other aspect of religion that people could view as kind of ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But when you see it happening, you're like, that's what this is about.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
Mm-hmm.
It's bigger than anything else. And it's you'll get it once you see the movie. I'm trying not to say too much about it.
Yeah.
But
it feels like a very vulnerable film coming from someone who's very religious.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like he's being protective or trying to tell you one way's right and one way's wrong, and it's just kind of a movie about religion as a whole and
mm-hmm.
what it can do for people, and kind of how, like, people are the way they are almost. And, like, there's a quote, I put it in my Letterboxd review. He says, "Mountains and rivers can be moved, but men's nature cannot be moved."
Yeah.
And I think that's sort of a good, like, testament for what the movie kind of is about, because a lot of people in Andrew Garfield's shoes would have folded.
Yeah.
They would have said, like, I'm not watching this shit happen. I don't care. Like, I'm stopping this.
Yeah.
And, like, men's nature can't really be moved. So.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. I'm going to ask you kind of in code to keep from spoiling things, but do you think that the moment that happened with Andrew Garfield happened with Liam, or do you think he just did what most people would do?
I don't think I know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. I'll ask you off the air then.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really know what that is. I don't really know what you're talking about. But yeah, it's I was pretty close to giving it a 5-star on first watch.
I was too. And
I
was
went
like,
with 4.5.
I was like, the length, but then the length's important, and I was like, it's kind of like a tough movie to get through because there's a lot of terrible stuff that happens, and But I was like, that stuff, you got to show that stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's close.
It's more
close.
just like, how much did it affect me? Normally, a movie, like, there's nothing wrong with Silence. I don't have a single flaw with the movie. But just because I don't have a flaw with a movie doesn't mean it's a 5-star.
Yeah.
And it has to move me, like, emotionally for it to be a 5-star most of the time. And I don't know why it didn't, because there's some pretty emotional shit that happens in the movie, but maybe I don't have a heart. I don't know. But you show me Bruce rising from the pit and The Dark Knight Rises, and I'm bawling like a fucking baby.
I think you're just a psycho.
All right.
You show the clip of,
all right,
it's Batman, and then you're fucking,
all right,
you're losing.
All right,
it.
Monsters Inc. How about you cool down? All right.
I actually feel emotion during Silence, pal.
Oh, did you cry?
I glossed.
Oh man, that's crazy.
I glossed over.
Oh, that's crazy.
I'm not. I'm trying not to cry. Actively trying not to cry. I'm
but
not
I thought
just
you
wanting
feel
it
emotion.
to happen. I do. I'm saying I felt it. Did you have to?
emotions
Did
are
you have
real.
to coach yourself not to cry, or
You really
did you just
believe in
not
emotions.
cry?
That's just made up government
I would say
conspiracies.
that's misinformation,
but
but
borderline delusion.
delusion.
I think there's definitely something to fucking discuss here.
Dude, I was watching those memes all day. Dude.
Another
great.
day, another victory for the OG.
Damn it, dude.
But yeah, I have no flaws with it, but I don't know.
You just don't
5
care
stars.
about the...
I just know when I see a 5-star movie. I just know. It just connects with me. I can feel it in my nuggets. And Silence just, I don't know, it just wasn't a 5-star for me. Maybe on rewatch. And I do think I could like rewatch it pretty soon.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it would kind of help me establish a firm grading on it to rewatch it.
Yeah. But it's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
It's some high quality picture making.
Yeah, I
from
love
Marty. And then the last thing on our watch list is Before Sunrise. And this is another what I just said about needing movies to like really move me to be a 5-star.
Oh.
This is that exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is also a 4.5 for me. Have no flaws with it. I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, but I guess I don't know.
No, I arrived. That's the thing. Like, I liked Silence more than before, but I think right now I'd put them both at a 4.5, maybe down Before to a 4. But I think when I rewatch Silence, I'll bump it up to a 5, and that'll make me feel better about it.
Yeah, I think the most special thing about Before Sunrise is that it doesn't feel like a script and it doesn't feel like acting. It just feels like a documentary about two people meeting and hanging out for 24 hours. And that's pretty special. I haven't seen the sequels, so I may like this more when I've seen the sequels, but yeah, the performances feel so real and natural, and that's mainly because most of it was improv. And I found out that Spitfire told me this. He said that because he loves Before Sunrise, and he said that Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy were like really pissed that they didn't get writing credits for this because most of the dialogue they made up.
Shit.
And that's not something I would like think about.
Yeah.
Because a lot of actors improv, but it seems like most of this was like improv.
Yeah, you never really improv an entire movie.
Yeah. So Yeah, that makes sense that they would be upset. And I think they got writing credits for the second and third.
Oh, okay.
So I think they got that fixed. But yeah, I think Richard Linklater has a special ability to make movies that never feel like you're watching a movie.
Yeah, he really, like, you kind of transcend reality and
Yeah.
you're just there with
Yeah.
these people and stuff's happening.
Yeah. It felt the same way with Boyhood. Almost more so with Boyhood.
Really?
Yeah, like Boyhood does not feel like Boyhood. I gave a 5-star. This I gave a 4.5, because Boyhood affected me like a lot more than this one did. And I don't know. I've said it before when I initially watched it and we talked about it. Just watching a kid grow up, 18 years old in a span of 3 hours is a very uncomfortable thing to watch.
Yeah.
Because that's something that's supposed to take 18 years, and seeing it happen so quick is like...
It's uncanny.
It's uncanny, and it makes you think about your life, and it made me pretty, like, sad or / depressed after I watched it.
Yeah, dude.
And I don't know if that's the intention, but that's how it made me feel. Because I was like, fuck.
I'm sure there's some
time
gloom.
flies.
There's some gloom behind it.
Yeah.
I remember fucking building Legos, and now I'm doing taxes.
Yeah.
I can get my
What kind of
windshield
shit is that?
replaced.
I used to play with Lincoln Logs.
My
and
life
drink-
has gotten progressively worse.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking sucks.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's Richard Linklater's biggest like attribute as a filmmaker is he just gets these performances out of his actors that never feel like acting. They always just feel natural, and it feels like a camera just got dropped off in a scenario and you're just eavesdropping on people.
Yeah. And there's so much chemistry on screen between Ethan and Julie. It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
And it is a great romance movie. The whole thing is like romantic. And it's this dream scenario I'm sure a lot of guys like fantasize about it, just, seeing this beautiful girl and then just like, hey, let's get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go have like the time of your life.
Yeah.
And
Spend a day walking around
exactly.
Vienna.
Yeah. It's a beautiful setting. Cool stuff happens. Like, nothing over the top. It's just the majority of the movie is Ethan Hawke.
Them hanging out, getting to know each other.
Yeah, talking and just kind of telling each other like information they wouldn't really tell anyone else normally.
Yeah.
Because they like each other, but there's also that like safety that they're a stranger that will probably
Never see again.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you're able to get a lot more off your chest.
Which is like the thing in the back of your head while you're watching it, like that that, these are two people that live in different countries and will probably never see each other again. So them building this chemistry and growing to like each other, like, may not end well.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I can't really speak on the ending because I haven't seen the second one, so I'm not sure exactly what happens in the grand, scheme of the story. But that's the one thing I kept thinking about while I was watching it, and I was like, damn, like, sucks for y'all.
What a bunch of losers.
Yeah, it's like the La La Land, like, right place, right person, wrong time scenario.
Yeah.
And that's always a tough pill to swallow, but hey, who knows? I haven't seen the sequels. Who knows what shenanigans they get up to.
I am really excited for the sequels, though.
Yeah.
The escapism element alone makes the movie just so valuable.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to hop back into that world in another 2 movies is really exciting.
Yeah. But weirdly, my favorite part of the movie was them just talking on the train, because I love train movies, and I wish there were more just like movies of the whole movie is just people talking on a train. and you're
Murder
seeing
on
like
the Orient Express.
you're seeing like the land. That's a murder mystery. Fuck all that. Like you're seeing the landscapes pass in the background. Like and before sunrise, there's this huge window behind them, so you're seeing them talk, but you're seeing the landscapes pass as you go, and it's like, dude, I'd kill to see just an entire movie of two people in a train talking, and you're seeing them like, seeing the country in the background.
Yeah.
That's some cozy shit right there.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I think my favorite scene in that movie,
other than meeting the cowman.
yeah. I mean, he was really should be called Before Cowman.
Yeah.
But
that's a different conversation.
yeah, that's for another episode.
Yeah.
But I really liked them in the record booth listening to that song together.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of just like they were sitting there listening to it, like kind of standing in this tight room, like looking at each other and looking away when the other person starts looking. It's like this awkward back and forth that they do.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's really sweet.
Yeah.
I also liked them playing pinball too. That was cool.
Yeah. But my favorite scene, other than just them being on the train, was the guy who wrote the poem for him.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was a great scene.
Yeah.
Where he's basically, this guy's a bum, but he's offering them something in return for money instead of just asking for money. He's trying to give them something of value. And so he writes a poem for him, and like it's a pretty sick poem.
It is.
But I don't know, I just love that idea of this guy who just like sits there and asks to write poems for people for like whatever they, not charging like, oh, it's $20 for a poem, like whatever they want to pay.
Yeah.
However it makes them feel, they can choose however much they pay for it.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool. And then they leave, and then Ethan Hawke's very like cynical about certain things.
Yeah.
Like the palm reading, and he was like, he didn't like just think of that. Like he has a pre-made poem that he uses every time, and he just replaces one line with the word that you said.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed that scene quite a bit. But yeah, it's I definitely really, really liked it.
Yeah.
I can't say it like blew me away, even though I gave it the same score I gave the Holdovers and Silence, and they blew me away. So maybe I should lower this. I don't know.
I think I definitely. I think I need.
I haven't really thought about
Silence
it since I watched it.
Yeah, I think it's a movie that's designed for the second one. Like they wrote it and they knew they were gonna do a second one, and then the second one's gonna. Because I can't imagine that they just ended it where it was and called it quits, and then they just made two more.
Mm-hmm.
I think they knew what was gonna happen. At least that's my assumption. But once I watch the other two movies, I think I'll know for sure where to place it.
It seems like the ending kind of, they knew at the time that they were going to make more.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know for sure.
The big takeaway from before is Ethan Hawke is a fucking stud, dude.
Yeah, it really makes you feel bad about yourself.
Yeah,
when you watch prime Ethan Hawke.
Someone slapped him with a handsome stick, dude.
Yeah, and someone slapped me with the holy fucking shit stick. Get away from me.
The funny part is, he's wearing this leather jacket throughout the entire movie. It looks cool as shit.
Mm-hmm.
That same day, I went and tried on a leather jacket. Looked like an idiot. I put it on, looked in the mirror, went nope, and then put it back on the.
You know how I picture you looking with a leather jacket on? I feel like you would look how Josh looks in Drake and Josh when he tries to do magic.
You fucking bastard.
Am I right?
I mean, I didn't buy the jacket. That's all that matters.
But you tried it on and you saw in the mirror. And you said Josh Kazam.
You mean this ketchup?
Doheny.
The translucent trousers. Yeah, no, I looked like an idiot. Hands down. Guarantee I looked like an idiot.
Leather jackets are hard to pull off unless you're really hot.
That's the thing. Like, you never see a moron. I only see cool guys in leather jackets.
Dude, I don't know. I feel like those kids that we were making fun of earlier, like, what are we? Those kids? I think a lot of them are wearing fedoras and leather jackets now.
No. For the fedora, yeah, but never seen one in a leather jacket. I think
they're trying to bring
the
them back.
retailers are like, nah, sorry.
There's no in between though. It's either you wear a leather jacket and you're a weirdo, or you're the hottest guy I've ever seen. There's no like normal guy that wears a leather jacket.
It's crazy that you can go from like, this is Brad Pitt to this guy's probably going to show me his wiener in a dark alley.
It's the guy from Observe and Report in the parking lot. Yeah. There's no in between with leather jackets.
Yeah. You're either a fucking a top tier guy, or you're a fucking heathen, dude.
I'd say just avoid leather jackets.
You're never just some average Joe heading to work in a leather jacket.
No guy who works at fucking FedEx is wearing leather jackets.
You're either out to fuck, or you're out to fuck. You know, it's one of the two.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we're rambling a little bit. I don't know if we have anything else to say here.
No, I think that's it. If I had to put everything in order, I think I would do Silence at a 5, Holdovers at a 4.5, and then Before at a 4. That's where I think I would land. Maybe after sequels, Before could come up to a 4.5, but
I think Sunrise might be a 4 for me too.
I have to watch Sunset, see what happens.
I'll keep my score the same until I see the whole trilogy, and then I'll may reorder them. I've heard Before Sunset, which is the next one, is most people's favorite.
Oh, maybe we'll get some Hawk Wiener.
I don't think we're getting any Hawk Wiener.
Damn.
I think we'll just have to settle for. I don't think we're getting any leather jacket either.
Oh my god!
Because he's older in the second one, so I don't think that would
doesn't
fit
mean
his
he's
wardrobe.
less hot. He's probably more.
No, he's still hot, but I think he's gonna be more like dressed like a dad, like in a collared shirt or something.
Gotcha.
I don't think the leather jacket's kind of like a young guy thing.
Youthful.
Yeah.
Okay.
When he was filled with youthful whimsy, he would wear a leather jacket. I don't think he's doing that anymore in the second one. But who knows? Maybe he is. Maybe he'll surprise us.
Maybe we'll go check it out.
Now. So the next episode should be pretty eventful.
Oh yeah, it'll be stacked.
It should be probably the 2 Before sequels, Napoleon, hopefully Thanksgiving. Are we watching the new Hunger Games?
If people said it's good, then yeah.
People are saying it's good, but I also would probably rather see Saltburn.
I'm more excited for Saltburn. I've seen the trailer for it. I have no idea what it's about.
Oh, I skipped the trailer. I just know it's
I can
Jacob
tell you
Elordi
it's not going to tell you anything.
Yeah, I know it's Jacob Elordi and fucking damn it. You know who I'm talking about.
Billy Cogan.
Barry
Cogan.
Well, at least we each got one name right, so we can combine them to form the correct name.
Nice. I was so confident saying Billy.
Yeah, Barry Cogan. And I believe there may be some gay involved.
What are we doing
so
right
sign
now?
me
Why
up.
are we fucking filming this stuff?
Let's.
We need to be getting gay.
We need to get in the car and hit the auga all the way to the fucking Regal right now.
Full yabba dabba do on them.
Oh man, we're children.
Yep.
But all right, I think that's all we got. Thank you for scooping with us this week.
Yep. Sorry for the delay again. I kind of got screwed at work, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
It happens. But we'll be back next week for more scoops and things of that nature.
Yeah, such as that.
Where do we be back? Why next week? So just be ready for that, you know.
Another scoop.
I know that like it's a little inconvenient for you, but like it's just the way the cookie crumble, man.
We're just scooping.